to learn some scope words.
I hope so. This week they're all adjectives, which means they're all describing words. And remember, adjectives can describe nouns, which are people, places, things, or ideas. And so some adjectives might be better to describe people, some might be better to describe places, and some might be better to describe things. So I'll draw your attention to that as we learn the new words. All right, our first word is recurring. Everybody say recurring. It's recurring. Recurring. It's not reoccurring with an O after the re, it's just recurring, so make sure that you know the difference both in speech and spelling. If something is recurring, it means it's repeating. It keeps happening over and over and over again, almost like there's a pattern. So sometimes people have a cough all winter long. They think it goes away, but then it just comes back. It's a recurring cough. There are recurring injuries, like maybe a basketball player keeps having a recurring shoulder issue or something like that. So it's something that just keeps coming back. A recurring theme, a recurring problem in 7th grade is forgetting your pencil to class. It just means it keeps happening over and over again. I have a little example here with Eli.
Bad dream!
What was your bad dream about?
A bad guy.
Oh, a bad guy. Go back to sleep. And then pretend the next night.
I had a bad dream about a bad guy.
Again?
Uh-huh.
Go back to sleep. Good night. And then the next night.
I had a bad dream about a bad guy.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
We call that a recurring nightmare or a recurring dream. It doesn't have to be a nightmare, but the point is that it's something that just keeps happening over and over again, not just twice, but there almost seems to be a pattern. So that's what recurring means. It means repeating, happening again and again. All right, the next word is prudent. Everybody say prudent. It's prudent. Prudent. And prudent is a word that describes a person best. So we know adjectives can describe people. And you can describe a person or their actions as being prudent. It means careful and cautious. Usually you're thinking about the future. So it's a very wise thing to be prudent. And one thing that comes to mind is money. And so Eli is very prudent with his money. He's saving some money right now, actually. Do you want to tell him about your bank and what it does?
It makes a touchdown, and I'm saving my money up for the cardboard shooting boom back track.
Is that a toy?
Yeah.
Whoa, that sounds awesome. Okay, go ahead and show him how it makes a sound when you put your money in. Mm-hmm. So Eli is very prudent with his money because he's saving, he's being cautious. When he gets money, he always wants to run and put it in his bank to save it up for something big, like the toy he described. And you know, he's not someone to just go spend it carelessly. So careless would be the opposite. You can be prudent with your finances. That's why a lot of companies like Prudential, and they call it like prudent investments and things like that. All right, the next word is subtle. Everybody say subtle. It's subtle. Subtle. And the word subtle means not obvious, kind of hidden. In informal language, I would say it means like to keep something on the down low. So in this word, a great example of its definition is the B. The B is very soft. It's kind of hidden when you pronounce it. It's just subtle. Kind of sounds like it would rhyme with shuttle. And stay back, bud. And so I think the B is a great example. I'll give you some other examples too using the word subtle. So let's say Eli's standing here and I notice that his zipper's undone. I could be subtle and just go like this to him. Hey, Eli. And by just giving a little motion with my hand, like a little upward zipping motion, it lets him know that he needs to do something. So oftentimes it's good when we are subtle with each other. I try to be subtle with you all in class. If you are causing a problem, I try to just walk over quietly or just like give you a look or something to try to be more subtle. The opposite of being subtle is drawing attention to it and being loud. Instead of saying, hey, Eli, your zipper's open, and embarrassing him in front of his friends, I could just give that little hand signal. All right. The other use of subtle is to show that there's just something slightly different. Like you might hear the word subtle difference. So two identical twins, you might think they look identical, but usually there is a subtle difference between the two. So subtle means slight, hidden, not obvious, not out there. All right. The next word is trivial. Everybody say trivial. It's 3 syllables. Triv. E-O. Trivial. Yep. If something is trivial, it's small, unimportant, of little worth or value. So sometimes people worry about trivial things, right? Something that's so small and unimportant and who really cares? Think about trivial in informal language as who really cares. So, some drama is about trivial things. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's about important things. I've even seen on packages of food, and I searched my whole kitchen and couldn't find anything, but underneath the nutrition label on food sometimes, it will say contains a trivial amount of fat, usually, or sodium or something, but it means it's so small they couldn't even really measure it to put it in the ingredients, but they just let you know by saying that includes a trivial amount of fat or sodium. So small it doesn't really matter. Some other examples that I can think of concerning Eli, who's off playing right now because he got too wild. When he misses his nap and gets really cranky in the evening, he cries about trivial things that he would never normally cry about. So let's say I gave him a fork instead of a spoon at dinner time. He would, Mom, you gave me a fork, and cry. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so trivial. I can tell you didn't get your nap today. So those are my examples of trivial, and you'll see some pictures that will help you understand it as well. All right, last word is plausible. Everybody say plausible. It's plausible. Plausible. 3 syllables. If something is plausible, it is possible. It can happen. It doesn't mean it will happen. It just could. It's plausible. And the most common use that you'll see this word is on Mythbusters, where they test out different things and they find out if it can't happen, like there's no way this would happen, they say it's busted. If it definitely works, like most of the time, they will say it's confirmed. And then plausible is what they use for the in-between, where it's like, yeah, I guess this could happen if the conditions were perfect, or if you did it just right and just the right amounts, it's plausible. So that would mean that it can happen.
Bye, weapon. I'll go check if it's dark. We're in the dark.